Like all of the apostles, we know very little about their background and their life. They were just ordinary men, fishermen, most of them, whom Jesus called to follow him to be his 12 apostles. We read the gospel from St. John because scholars believe that Nathanael was Bartholomew, that the two names were interchanged. And we see that Philip brings Bartholomew or Nathanael to Jesus, presents him to Jesus. We don't know what happened, but when when Nathanael questions Jesus and says, "How do you know me?" And he says, "I saw you under the fig tree." We don't know really what that means, but it must have been a very profound experience for Bartholomew, because his response, which was, "You are the Son of God, the King of Israel," something made him realize who Jesus was. And of course, he followed him. And he says, "You're going to see greater things than this." Nathanael was one of the ones with a couple of the other apostles whom Jesus appeared to on the Sea of Tiberias. They had been fishing all night long and caught no fish, and Jesus told them to cast out their nets again. And they caught so many fish that they could hardly haul it in. And then they recognized that it's Jesus who's on the shore, who started a fire and was cooking breakfast for them. And Jesus asked them for a couple of fish to cook. So we see these very simple things with Bartholomew, with all of the apostles. What's noted is that it's not their personalities that were important. Jesus called them, and Jesus gave them all that they needed to profess their faith in him. Their humanity was secondary. They contemplated Jesus not just inwardly, but they outwardly needed to profess their faith in him. Humanity is meaningless without God, and it is only with God that it has its fullest meaning. And I think that's what the apostles show us, that without God, we are nothing. But with God, we are God's holiness makes us holy, and we become God's most precious creation. That's an awesome thought. We are God's most precious creation in all the world. And so the Feast of the Apostles, Bartholomew, Nathanael, and all of the apostles reminds us that Jesus took them in their simple humanity like ours, inspired them with his love and with the knowledge of God and with faith, and they shared it with others. And that's our calling too, to share our faith with others. Let us stand now and offer our prayers and petitions.